Hello everyone, Lunar Warfare. Today we're going to take a quick peek at the recently released preliminary patch notes for the first Tides of War update coming on December 4th. The first chapter, named Overture, will also be bringing with it the much anticipated December 4th patch. As such, DICE has just released a sneak peek of said patch on Reddit. I'll be going over the changes in the patch notes and giving my personal opinion about them in this video. In the background, I'll just run a random game from one of my streams today. I'll later cut to some informational screens as well. I hope you'll enjoy the gameplay until then. And without further ado, let's get right into it. As we know, the Overture update will be bringing with it the new Panzerstorm map, which is a tank-focused map placed in Belgium. There will be 7 vehicle slots per team for a total of 14 on the map. I'm personally hoping that we'll get a few more options to deal with the tanks during the Overture update, as currently the only way to really deal with them is as the Assault class, but I'm still excited for the new map nonetheless. The much requested practice range, which will allow you to go into a specifically made map together with up to 3 friends to try out everything the game has to offer, including all the different vehicles and weapons in the game. It's very cool that we'll finally get a practice range in a Battlefield game. It'll help a lot for people that actually want to get better at the game. This will also be a pretty huge benefit to YouTubers like myself, as it'll make guides a lot easier to produce, as we no longer have to go into a random server and hope it's empty, and gives us enough time to record our footage. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. The all-new vehicle visual customization, which will allow you to, who would have guessed, visually customize your tanks, planes and other vehicles in the game. Personally, I'm not really excited for this one, as I'm a boots on the ground kind of guy and don't like using any kind of vehicle in my Battlefield games. It's probably pretty exciting for the vehicle-focused guys though. And lastly, the new War Stories episode, The Last Tiger, which will put you in control of a Tiger 1 tank and its crew as you fight to survive the final days of the war, as seen from the German side. Also not really for me, as I haven't even touched the other War Stories yet, but for those among you that are really interested in the single player, here's your content. Aside from those, we have gotten a few tidbits on the official Battlefield 5 Twitter account that have announced 3 new weapons coming soon, probably in the Overture update. I'll be covering these weapons in another video once we know more about them and have something factual to report on their stats in the game. But for now, I'll just list them for those of you that haven't kept up to date with the Twitter. The weapons are the Vickers K, a new medium machine gun, which will be added to the support kit with the Overture update. The Selbstlader 1906, a self-loading rifle which we've already seen in Battlefield 1. This time around, it's likely going to be a recon weapon instead of a medic weapon like in Battlefield 1, as the medics so far have only had access to SMGs, and the 1906 did have a sniper version in Battlefield 1, which is likely the one that will be added to the Battlefield 5 game. The AG-M42, a Swedish semi-automatic rifle, which will be added to the Assault class. I don't really know much about this one. We do not have any information on the new medic weapons yet, but I'm confident that we'll get information on those as well fairly soon. I'm quite excited at the prospect of already getting new weapons, with the new game only being out for about a month now. Variety is the spice of life, so this will definitely keep the game fresh, which is a problem I personally had with Battlefield 1, as it felt incredibly stale even just a month after release. DICE seems to have learned their lesson in that regard, reduce the number of weapons that release and just put them in with each patch to keep people engaged with the new content. They also let us in on a few ideas they had regarding TDT and TTK, time to death and time to kill respectively. But before we get into that, I want to just quickly make sure that everyone watching understands the difference. Time to death is the perceived time it takes to die when you get shot. Time to kill, on the other hand, is the perceived time of killing another player that you are shooting. Both of them are obviously intertwined, but can have completely different feels to them, as you might have been able to tell in the game so far. All the people complaining about the KE7 are complaining because the time to death seems so low. Oftentimes you get globaled, aka killed before you can even react to the first damage tick. This is time to death. Meanwhile, on the other side, the attacker shot you 5 times, which is the exact same amount for every other LMG as well. These 5 shots take the appropriate amount of time to land, and it feels satisfying and weighty to get the kill. This is time to kill. With that out of the way, here's what DICE said. The upcoming Battlefield 5 Overture update will not have any changes that impact the current time to kill. However, there will be balanced tweaks to weapons. I'll be covering those in just a few minutes, so just sit tight. Time to kill and time to death are very closely linked. We're seeing players die too often and too quickly and get frustrated because of it. We're looking at how they can improve the experience for new players and veterans alike. This may lead to a perceived slower time to kill. Personally, I feel like the time to kill in the game is perfect at the moment, but a slower time to kill is not always a bad thing. We'll see how that plays out. We are investigating all elements that play into time to death, from netcode to damage feedback and other components that influence time to death perceptions. This particular point I'm very excited about, as the current netcode seems to be pretty terrible. Oftentimes you'll get globaled or die seconds after getting into hard cover. Additionally, it is basically impossible to tell what your current HP is, unless you specifically look at the HP meter, of course. The on-screen indication, like a blight outside or something like that, are straight up missing or don't feel impactful enough. Lastly, the hit indicators are often indicating the wrong side. For example, you get shot from behind and it shows the hit marker from the front. We want to achieve gunplay balance where the experience is healthy, where latency is in a good place in order to improve consistent experiences across all platforms, including the PC and console. I don't personally think anyone would disagree with this point, so let's just move on. We want to propose any time to kill model changes to you, the community, and involve you in testing experimental changes with the goal of improving experience and create deeper gameplay potential. This, on the other hand, is really good news. We get the chance to be involved with the gameplay testing for it. They also let on that this will be done via the in-game browser. The current idea is to have two different playlists, one with the current time to kill and one with the new time to kill after the Overture update. So those that want to try the new one and want to compare the two against each other can opt in themselves to try it out. I might make a video on this in the future. I think this is pretty much the perfect way to handle such a delicate part of the game. Especially involving the community early on will hopefully help to reduce potential errors or balance problems as well. Now let's get to the juicy bit, the actual patch notes. These are not all of the changes that will be coming with the December 4th update, but definitely a good handful of them. First off, the revive mechanic has been updated and polished to hopefully no longer cause as many delays and annoying issues where you can't revive a teammate for whatever reason. The revive mechanic has not yet been sped up, as they want to observe the mechanic with those changes first. They state, however, that they are not against speeding up the whole process in the future, if it still presents a problem to players. Personally, I think the revive mechanic is perfect as it is now, obviously aside from all the bugs and delays of course, that will hopefully be fixed with this patch. And I would hope that they do not return the speed to the old Battlefield games, where medics never really had to worry about what they were doing. It's a nice change of pace to really have to get down and dirty and put yourself in danger to revive a fellow teammate. I really like that. Next, the big medic class balance changes. The medic weapons have been buffed across the board, but in a way that doesn't impact the overall game balance too much, which is very good. Every medic weapon now has reduced recoil during sustained fire, a higher muzzle velocity, and lower bullet drag, which will allow you to shoot further and have the bullets land a lot quicker, which will help with close quarter combat as well as long range engagements. Additionally, the 5-hit kill range of the SMGs has been increased to 30 meters from 25. That means you will be able to kill an enemy with 5 shots if they're within 30 meters of you, instead of the previous 25 meters. That's a lot. As for specific weapon information, I'll display the muzzle velocity changes on the screen right now, so you can watch them while I keep talking about this stuff. Overall, these changes will hopefully put the medic into a better place and cause more people to pick up the role. Personally, I don't know if these changes are enough, but they're a good step in the right direction, and I'm glad that they didn't just increase the damage of the weapons and make the distinction between ARs, LMGs, and SMGs useless. Let's move on to the specific weapon changes. The medic's M1928A1 has had its maximum damage reduced by 4.9, from 30 to 25.1. This will likely make it so you will require 5 shots to kill most targets, unlike the 4 that are currently required. You will still full-shot enemies at close range, of course. The Assault's Gewehr 1.5 has had its 3-hit kill range increased by 5 meters, from 25 to 30. This means the damage drop-off has been reduced. You will now deal more damage at those ranges. The Assault Sturmgewehr 1.5 and STG-44 have had the maximum damage increased from 24 to 25.1. This will make them more consistent in close-range engagement, as now you'll be guaranteed a 4-shot kill at close range, instead of the previous maximum of 96 damage. The Assault's Turner SMLE has had its damage reduced, so a headshot body shot combo cannot kill enemies above 30 meters, instead of the previous 35 meters. At 30 meters and below, you'll still be able to do the headshot body shot combo. A general increase for all assault rifles, LMGs, MMGs, and SMGs 4-hit kill range from 9 meters to 10 meters, to make close quarter combat more consistent. So at 10 meters, all of these weapon types should kill in 4 hits, unless you hit a headshot or the enemy already had taken damage beforehand. A general increase for all SMG's 5 hit kill range from 25 to 30 meters. This means you can 5-shot enemies 5 meters further out than currently. Slightly extended the damage pistol drop-off distance. This means that pistols will deal slightly more damage at range. Bolt-action sniper rifles now always deal at least 55 damage, no matter what body parts get hit. The horizontal recoil of the support's KE7 has been increased by 25%. This will make it substantially harder to control the gun, especially as horizontal recoil is harder to control than vertical recoil. In addition, the recoil buffer specialization has also been replaced by the quick aim specialization, and the tree has been reordered. We have no further information on the reordering though. The reload speed has been increased by roughly 5%. This means the reload will be a little bit faster. Together with the previous change, depending on how the reordering of the spec tree turns out, this might spell the end of the KE7 Supreme reign. For all the supports that are stranded, I would recommend giving the Bren gun a try if you like the accuracy of the KE7. If you like the fire rate, the FG42 is your next best option. The Assault's M1907 SF also had its horizontal increased by 5%. It also has had its reload speed increased by roughly 7%. The Medic Sten has had its horizontal recoil reduced by 5%. Additionally, the efficacy of the ported barrel specialization has also been increased. We don't know by how much exactly yet. Overall, this will drastically reduce the recoil of the Sten. Medics rejoice! The support's MG34 has had its double drum magazine reload speed increased by 7.5%. That's a pretty big buff. Other changes that don't really fit into anything else. The slings and swivel specialization has been improved. It is now faster to change weapons and fire from sprinting. I don't have any number to compare yet, but if I find some later, I'll just put them in an annotation to the video right now. The ability to drag teammates will not be added in this patch. They're still investigating the feasibility of the mechanic, but they really want to add it in the future. We'll soon be able to earn coins at max company rank 50, but they're still working on the fix and they'll update us once it's live. Additionally, they're looking into ways to retroactively grant us company coins for the hours we've already played at max rank. We're receiving updates on those shortly. Hell yeah. They're also working on the UI. Firstly, loadouts will soon be synced across factions, though there's currently no working solution, so this will likely come at a later date. Secondly, apply all to weapon skins will come in the December 4th update, so for everyone that has unlocked their gold weapons but hasn't equipped their skins yet, that's good news for your left mouse button. Lastly, they're going to release an article on exactly how airlifts work, as the community is currently very confused as to what exactly they have in them, how many we'll get, and pretty much just about anything in their regard, really. So that's very good news. I don't know if I'll do a separate video on that article, but I might. I might just annotate it here and link to it in the description though. Yeah, that will probably be better. We'll see. They've also fixed the endless end of round issue. This change is already live and has been for about 3 to 4 days. If you still experience these issues, please send them a bug report so they can be aware of the new issues surrounding it. And that pretty much sums up the sneak peek at the December 4th patch in the Overture Tides of War. One last thing, they've also hinted at bomber changes in the comments, so don't fret, they surely haven't forgotten about those beasts. One last reminder, these are just the sneak peek changes. There will be way more changes in the full patch notes, which you should be able to read on the 3rd, as they want us to be able to read the patch notes before the patch arrives. If there are more substantial changes in those final patch notes that warrant another video, I might be inclined to make one, once the patch is live and we can observe the changes for ourselves. And with that, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like and dislike button, and check me out over on twitch.tv/LunarWolf, where you can watch me record the footage for all my videos live and ask any questions you might have. You can find a link to my stream down below in the description as well. And with that, thanks for watching, and keep dropping those ammo pouches.